Morgan Chesky here at 30 Rock with a kind of a deja vu story to another one that we did in Los Angeles several weeks ago involving Airbnb and kind of a very uncomfortable find made by a renter whenever they went to the place they were staying at. Now, in this latest case, a guy and his girlfriend went to what was described as a cozy, romantic getaway in Southern California. They were there for what was supposed to be a nice weekend. And the gentleman told NBC News that they went inside and just something felt off. So they started looking around the rental. And he said he looked up at the smoke detector and just looked fishy. So when he reached up and kind of played with it a little bit, it came down, and inside that smoke detector was a hidden camera. I know, it's crazy. Hidden inside a smoke detector, you could barely see it, about the size of your thumb, if not smaller there, right there on the detector. So this guy calls police, the police come, they make sure that nothing was being recorded inside the camera, and they say no crime was committed. But that said, it made him incredibly uncomfortable, so he reached out to Airbnb. The company issued a full refund. They're obviously not staying at that listing again because Airbnb says they've taken that listing off of their website entirely. But it does raise the question, how much effort should Airbnb take to make sure that anyone listing property doesn't have these hidden devices inside? We checked the rules after the story we did last time when a woman found security cameras in a home that were in plain sight. And the company says that those cameras that are out like a Nest camera or something that you can see obviously out there on a countertop, those are okay as long as they're publicly disclosed and they're not in a private area, well, like a bedroom or a bathroom, anything private. So following this story, we reached back out to the company, and they said that hidden cameras specifically are forbidden in any of their listings. So we take that to mean something that's intentionally hidden inside a smoke detector, a battery charger, sometimes we've seen them in clocks. So those kinds of cameras are not allowed in any property, says the company, but you can still have kind of regular cameras that can sit on a countertop as long as you tell the people renting them so they kind of know what they're getting into. As you can see, it's still kind of confusing as to what's allowed, what's not allowed. I'm curious, if you're watching right now, have you felt uncomfortable going to an Airbnb? I stayed in one relatively recently, and I got to tell you, once you kind of get in and get situated, at least for me, I kind of let my guard down. I don't really look around for cameras per se, but now that we've seen this story we're doing today, the other one we did a few weeks ago, and one or two other examples recently, it does kind of make you wonder, how private are these locations that you rent? When you go to a hotel, it's automatically assumed no one's going to be watching you. But when you go to someone's home, you don't really know what you're getting into all the time. We did reach out to a privacy advocate for our last story who said, you know, whenever you go in and you essentially see a camera there visibly, you kind of being in its viewing area is more or less a form of consent. So, you know, even if they've disclosed the camera, you're within your rights as a renter to cover that camera up. That's per the privacy advocate. So, you know, as this business is booming, they have millions of visitors every year, it's raising serious privacy concerns about how the company is going to kind of mitigate this issue going forward as more and more people use it, and more homeowners may be considering cameras just for their own personal security since they're essentially renting it to strangers. Any questions coming in? Kate? No, right?
Really?
No, not a lot of questions? All right.
What about, are they giving any advice to people for what they should look for?
I mean, you know, obviously pay close attention to that listing on Airbnb as far as what to look for. You know, if you see that a homeowner has cameras inside and you don't feel comfortable with that, look for another property. Once you do get inside, you know, the privacy advocate said, always trust your gut, right? If something doesn't feel right, look around. Maybe take an extra lap through the house to look in those private areas, the bedrooms, the bathrooms. You know, does a smoke detector look off? Is a camera in an odd place? Anything that just seems suspicious might lead to something. That said, when you are renting space in someone else's home, you do kind of have to be extra aware that something like this could be happening. Any other questions?
Can Airbnb say no to cameras to any of their people listing?
The question is, can Airbnb say no to cameras? So yes is the answer. They're forbidding any specific hidden cameras like one you would find in a smoke detector or a battery charger. And they're right now, as of right now, this moment, cameras like a Nest camera or something sitting on a countertop, that's okay as long as the renter says in their listing, hey, I got cameras in the living room or the kitchen, but I don't have cameras in the bedroom, bathroom, or any other private area. So I feel like doing both of these stories now, at some point Airbnb is going to have to make some sort of no cameras at all distinction, or find another way of enforcement, or otherwise stories like these could end up happening more.
What about, are there any other companies we've heard about? Some people are talking about HomeAway in the comments.
Right, so obviously VRBO, HomeAway, those are other rental companies that are very popular at this point in time. We have not specifically heard of any issues with hidden cameras involving those companies. This is just involving Airbnb. However, it is worth saying that Airbnb is the most popular of those companies by a significant amount. I think they said, hundreds of millions of people have used their service so far, and the company line was, these relative instances are very rare, is what they included in a statement today.
And then, will Airbnb assist in relocating people, do we know? Or help if you find it when you get there?
Not so much relocation, but in the case of this gentleman we talked to today, after they found the camera and they packed up their bags and they left their romantic getaway behind, the company did issue them a full refund. So, yeah, it's inconvenient. You go, you think you're getting kind of a vacation, and then in turn you end up packing your bags and leaving, because even though this camera was not recording, it was not disclosed, and frankly, it just made them feel so uncomfortable that they had to leave the premises.
All right, I think that's it.
All right, that'll round it up for now. Catch our full story tonight on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. I'm Morgan Chesky, and we'll see you on TV.